Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Rob. You guys, this was a very difficult decision to make. I had no idea if I wanted to get this deck, if I didn't want to get it, if I wanted to get it. I mean, I saw this deck so many times online. I saw people doing readings with it. Somebody actually used it on me one time. And I thought, I don't know if this is really my deck. I don't know if this is really something that I want. I went ahead and I ordered it. Let me tell you guys what has happened since. Let me tell you guys what my experience has been with this deck. And so this is the wisdom of the Oracle. And as many of you know, this deck is not new. So for me, it's new, so I'm excited about it. Well, relatively new. I've had it for about 2 months now, and I've been able to work with it. I've been able to feel it. I've been able to connect with it. I've been able to really spend some time with the deck as of now. So I can feel comfortable doing this video now. Sometimes I will do an unwrapping with you guys and stuff, but that's not really my forte. I really do like to spend some time with the deck and then come out and tell you exactly what my experience has been. So the wisdom of the Oracle, you guys, it's a divinations card, it says here, and it's by Colette Baron-Reid. This is the front of the box. The side of the box is by Hay House. And this is the back of the box. For those of you that are not familiar with this deck and you'd like to read a little bit about it, pause your device and read that, you guys. The box is a hardcover box. It breaks up into two, and it comes with a book, which, if I may add, is a pretty generous book. This is the book that it comes with, you guys, and it's a pretty thick book. And so maybe some of you are familiar with Hay House, maybe some of you are not familiar with Hay House, but they do pretty good decks for pretty reasonable price. Or prices. I like Hay House. I think they are a great publisher, and I'm always happy when I get a nice deck from them. This is the book once again. The book is about, so it's not that big, right? But it's about 200 pages long, and so it gives you a picture of the card, and then it gives you the writing on each card. You can pause your device and take a read at that if you'd like to know sort of how that goes. There's another one. And so it does go into detail. It does tell you how you should use this deck, but then again, that is completely optional. You can use this deck however you want, and I'll give you a couple of examples of how I've been using this deck, because at the beginning I didn't know. However, I did read the book, and I did read the recommendations that they gave, and so I found some of them useful, but in the end, I do whatever I think I need to do, and so that has been no exception with this book. The important thing to know about this book is that it's very well written, and the messages in here are truly beautiful. Now, you can look at these cards and you can actually just go by your own intuition of what each card should mean. But when you read about it and when you actually sit down and read the book, you'll find that it is absolutely beautiful written, and the messages in there are beautiful. So I have been using the book, I have to say. And sometimes I will use it. Sometimes then I'll just put it aside and won't use it anymore. But at the beginning of my journey with a new deck, most of the times I will end up using the book. And then I put it away after a while because I've already know what the book says, and because after a while I just sort of want to create my own idea of what I think the deck says to me and what each card says to me. So that is what I do with my books. This was no exception with this particular book, but it's a really good book, and I think that if you're starting with the deck, I would definitely recommend that you give this guy a try and see how it all fits into your own psychic abilities, and then from there you can choose to use it, or you can choose to leave it behind, or do a combination of. I do a combination of. So a lot of the times when I'm doing a reading for a seeker, I will not use the book, so I'll go with my intuition. But since I've already had about a month and a half to work with this deck, and I've been using this deck, I will then do a combination of. Maybe I'll take it out, maybe I don't take it out. It all depends on my mood. It all depends how the reading goes. It all depends who the seeker is. And so, but Beautiful, beautiful book, you guys, and very well written. So these are the cards, you guys. So they are oracle size, right? Not all oracles are the same, but most oracles, I would have to say, are this size. And so this is a Los Carbeo card. And you can see that it's taller and it's wider than a usual a regular tarot card, but it is your typical, if one can say, oracle size. This is the back of the card, and they are reversible. So, and the book does come with reverse meanings, so you can do upside down or right side up, and you can read both ways. It's this is the back once again, and it's just a beautiful back. It's sort of is a shell, as you can see, or stairs, and there's a face in there. It's just beautiful. And once again, you guys, I saw so many people using this deck online, and I always wondered, honestly, when I looked at it, I thought that this deck would be nothing for me, because I just kept looking at it and I thought, and I'm going to use the word, I thought, how cheesy, right? How this couldn't really be something that I'm going to use, right? This is nothing for me. You guys, I have been completely surprised. This is a very deep deck. The cards are numbered. It's super easy to use. The cards are numbered. So this is card number 34, a leg up. This is 16, all that glitters. This is Happy Happy, number 26. And I just thought, I thought I didn't relate to the images. I thought, these images look so cheesy. These images look like they're nothing for me. You guys, I have been really, really wrong, and I've been missing out on this deck. I'm so glad I got this deck. I'm so glad this deck is on my collection. Not only that, but I haven't been able to stop using this deck. So I have been really working with it, and I've been having sort of like low days where I just haven't been feeling so good. And I'll take this deck out as comfort. I'll take this deck out when I need to really hear a message, when I feel not so much for divination, but I take this deck out whenever I'm feeling like there's something that's bothering me and I don't know what it is. Maybe there's a situation that is there, and maybe there's a situation and I'm thinking, okay, I know what's going on, but then I draw this deck and then it gives me a message and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was going on. So it's just been a surprising deck where I've just been surprised all the time as I work with this deck. And so there's a couple of ways to work with this deck. And so one of the ways that I work with this deck is I'll draw 3 cards if I'm doing a reading for myself. So I'll just draw 3 cards just to know what's going on, right? Paper quality. Before we do that, let me share with you the paper quality, because I just went and carried on about this deck because I really like this deck a lot. I had no idea I was going to like it so much. So shuffling is really good. They're not heavy. They are sort of on the shiny side. Not sort of. They are shiny. But the paper quality is okay. It's not the best. It's a mass-produced deck. But nevertheless, you guys, it's really a good paper quality. I don't mind working with it. They're not gilded. I think that a gild would have been nice. But many of you know I don't really care about if they're gilded or not. I just think of gilding as like the icing on the cake. Sometimes it could be nice. It doesn't have to be, and I think that maybe a gilding would have been nice on this one, but there is no gilding. And it's okay paper. When it comes to shuffling, I have no problem shuffling this deck. I think there's like 42 cards in here or something like this. 52 cards actually, so I stand corrected, and they're not so thick, they're not so big. You can shuffle them just fine. If you want to do a spread with this deck, you can. It works perfect. And when it comes to doing divination with this deck, or when it comes to drawing cards from this deck, what I'll do is a lot of the times, and this is when I'm doing it for myself, I'll draw like 1 card or 2 cards. So if I'm just having some sort of there's some sort of a problem, I'm feeling uneasy on that day, I'm feeling like maybe I don't know what's happening, I'll just draw 1 card and I'll let that card speak to me. If I want to sort of know what's going on right now and what I need to know to let this go or to pass this, I will draw 2 cards. And you can draw 3 cards. The wonderful thing about this deck, you guys, is that it's super versatile. So you can make your own spreads. You work with it as you want to work with it. This is what is one of the wonderful things about this deck. And the images are still not my favorite, but the messages on this deck are absolutely gorgeous. So you know, a lot of the decks, I use a lot of my decks when it comes to images, and this is just one of those decks that I don't really take a look at the pictures so much as I take a look at the wording on this deck, and then I'll go into the book and I'll read on that, and it just all makes sense to me. So it's absolutely beautiful. Time for a nap, yin, deep knowing, etc. So here it's my 2-card spread, as I was mentioning, and you know, what's going on, what do I need to do, or what's going on, where am I now, or what happened, where am I now, and what do I need to know moving forward, sort of a spread. So it really is versatile, you guys. You can work with it however you want. When I am working with a seeker, I will actually do a spread on the table, and I will have the seeker pick a card. Take a card, whether you do it at the beginning of the reading or you do it at the end of the reading. I always like to draw 1 or 2 cards the most, and then I just take it from there. It sort of just gives me the opening to my reading, if you guys know what I mean. So I'll open. So orphaned, for example, this is number 5. Let's see what the book says on orphan. Okay. So orphaned, essential meanings: a sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. The oracle's message: we were all meant to have connections with other people, within our families, society, and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize when being a part of rather than separate from. It's essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps no longer identifying with a group or community the way you did before, and need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. Then there's a relationship message. If your seeker is interested about relationship, there's a prosperity message, and there is a protection message. So of course I could read all of it, but I am going to actually pause here and take a read at that. And I'm going to also open it here and take a read at that. It's just beautiful. So you guys, I am so happy to have this deck on my collection. It is very available. This is one of those decks that you can find almost everywhere. I found mine on Amazon, and the price is a really good price. So you can't go wrong. It's not expensive. It's totally available. I think most worldwide this deck will be available, and it's really a beautiful deck. I really recommend this deck. So you guys, let me know if you have this deck. Let me know if this is a deck that you enjoyed. Let me know if this is a deck that you've been thinking about getting, but we're not sure if you wanted to get it or not. I love it. I did not think that this was going to be a deck for me. And at the end of the day, it turned out to be exactly what I needed. So I've been disappointed before. This time I was not disappointed, you guys. I got everything and more. So you guys, thank you for watching. And as I always say, until the next time.